My name is Liz O'Neill, and my background is e-com merchandising and in-store merchandising. I have 10 years of retail experience working for Perry Ellis, Victoria's Secret, Ralph Lauren, in-store. Managed a couple of children's stores many years ago, and I actually was the co-founder of a swimsuit company called Christina LaCour Swim. After that, I realized that there wasn't a lot of money to be made in working in-store, so then I kind of started diving into technology, and I really found a calling, and it's really working with retailers, innovating, and helping them stay ahead of the competition. And I absolutely love working in retail tech. I joined Lucidworks about 4.5 months ago to innovate for the digital commerce space. And fun fact, my home office, completely DIY'd and remodeled. It used to be a science lab, is now my home office. I am a secret DIY addict and like to get dirty and do all that fun stuff. Basically, I like to tear things down and rebuild them new. So today we're going to talk about the best practices to prepare for the holiday season. These are just some stats that I had pulled. So nearly 50% of the average retailer's sales occur in November and December. And actually, I was having lunch today with my new friend at LL Bean, Aaron, and he told me an even another staggering stat, and it's 70% of their holiday sales occur in November and December. So it is so key and so important to ensure that your site is up to date for your shoppers and you're delivering the most relevant products. So I'm just going to kind of talk through today some of my tips for you guys that you can do now before code freeze. Why you should listen. Last year, 15.2% of all global retail spending happened online. 2.86 trillion on retail goods were sold online. That is an 18% uplift from the previous year. It's pretty crazy stats, I think. What you should do. I'm going to kind of talk through some things, but these are kind of some very important topics. So your number one priority should be to analyze last year's statistics and learn from that. The good, the bad, the ugly, deal with it, figure it out. If you don't have a way to analyze anything, I would probably suggest implementing that now. Make sure your website can handle peak traffic. Reach out to your vendors, do some load testings that we were talking about today. Make sure that they can support it. My suggestion right now is do not implement any new technologies. Dive deeper into the retail tech that you've already invested in and optimize from there. Problems will happen, issues will occur. Just make sure you are prepared. So if you want to hire for extra help for the holidays, make sure that they're also trained in advance. And then last but not least, please get your inventory together. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure it updates in real time. There isn't anything more frustrating being an online shopper. Doing a search, putting that product in the cart, I go to checkout and the product's gone. Pain point of mine. So Black Friday reminders. You really want this to be in their face. My suggestion here, and I think Tory Burch does a really good job at it, they do sales probably every quarter. You sign up via email, you unlock insider look into what products they're going to be promoting. Macy's does a good job. My suggestion here would probably to be, shop all doorbusters. You have all these different categories. Have a pop-up that comes up and says, hey, do you want to unlock more sales, or do you want to see inside into Black Friday? Have a pop-up asking for an email address. You can use that later for marketing. Holiday themes, this is really important. No matter what the holiday is, just theme your pages, make it personal. I think Kohl's does a great job, as well as Lowe's. I'm not saying completely redesign, but you can add some sort of content in there to personalize it for the specific holiday. FAQ pages, this is another pain point of mine. I think it's 60% of shoppers want to be self-sufficient. They don't want to have to navigate to the bottom of the page to figure out shipping or order status. I think Home Depot on the right does a really good job. I typed in FAQ and it directed me to all the content provided that I need. The other example is another retailer in here. I type in FAQ and I get products. It's something that's simple. You're just changing the search term. It's extremely important, in my opinion. Page loads. Make sure your site does not take longer than 3 seconds to load of any page. Go back to do some testing. It is so important that you really do some testing here. When you're planning page speed improvements, keep in mind that your product pages will be the first place shoppers land on your store if they find it for a particular product search. And to go back, Katie was throwing some stats. It's 40% will completely bounce if your page loads or not within 3 seconds. I actually am a quasi nerd and I look at all retail sites a lot. Just Datanize is free. Just make sure to use your Gmail account, not your work. Otherwise, they will hound you every day. But right here is an example of Lenovo on the left, kind of gives you the page load time here. Average is 21.47. If you look at Granger, you're at 18.72. In my opinion, that's kind of just really not acceptable. Things just need to change. Excuse me. Mobile search. It is not a desktop. It is a mobile site. It should be mobile friendly. I think LL Bean does a fantastic job. In this example, the search bar is in my face. It's saying, what can we help you find? This is very, very easy to implement and change. Look at the difference between LL Bean and Camping World, right? For the Camping World example, I actually have to click on the specific search bar, then it pops up. Abercrombie, I think, does a terrible for mobile. You actually have to use the left-hand nav for the search box. So when you go to the home page, there's no search box. And it took me a couple of minutes to figure out where it was. So this is what not to do. This is what a desktop looks like, and this is what you should be doing. Merchandising search. Like I said before, my background is e-com merchandising, in-store merchandising. It can be based off geo. There's a lot of different ways that you can do merchandising. This is really important. Boohoo, I actually like their mobile site. I actually started typing in, pants, jumper, black dress, black fress. It pulls up your previous searches. And then what I like Boohoo is doing is they're taking their popular categories and promoting that as well. If I look at Urban Outfitters, homepage, search bar, right here, they're actually promoting trending products. I think it's probably hard to see. So Champion, backpack, tapestry, and I think mirror. I don't know why those are considered trending, but it could be from social. And I feel like social, moving forward in like the next gen is really important to fashion shoppers. And then the last one on the left is O'Neill. No pun intended. My last name is O'Neill, and I'm not associated with them at all. It would be kind of cool to be. But I like that in the search bar that they're actually promoting popular categories. So hybrid shorts, bags and purses, swimwear. I actually live in Orlando, Florida, so that popular categories is completely relevant to me because it's still 95 degrees out in Orlando. Visual type ahead. I think there are retailers that do it well, and I think there are retailers that kind of struggle. It's what Katie was talking about earlier. It's really important. The autocomplete. I personally like the visual type ahead because as I'm typing, I want to actually see the product image. I'm a visual learner as well, so I'm really passionate about this. The Louis Vuitton, I think, does a great job for doing the visual search. Kate Spade, not really sure why it's pink, but Kate Spade is all about pink. So I think in their example, it makes a lot of sense. And then REI, I think, can do this. Camping pillows. I started typing in camping. I would love to see some visual products in there. If you are doing this on your B2C site for desktop, do it on your mobile. I think an example I was looking for was Bed Bath & Beyond. Love their visual type ahead, but I didn't see it on mobile. And Q&A. Any questions, anyone? Yes.
Regionally, do you see much differences? U.S.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right here.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Around the world, as the holidays are different in different countries
Yep.
and different territories.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice to covering all the trends or all the markets while you're getting ready for these?
Say that one more time.
Okay,
Make sure I
so
understood.
as you're, in awareness, if you've got a global brand, let's say, or a global site, Christmas in North America, the timing of it is a big, well known, but in other parts of the world, there's different holidays that will come in a little sooner, a little later. And that's just the one holiday. You think of back to school or summer holidays in the
Singles
Southern
Day. Yeah, I've
Hemisphere.
heard of all these crazy things going on in other countries.
Yeah, exactly. So any advice
Yeah.
for covering your bases, I guess, in all those situations?
Yeah. I mean, I would say promote whatever holiday or whatever event, or, no matter what country you're in, theme those pages, like personalize it. Does that answer your question? I mean, there's a ton going on. Back to school just happened. This doesn't really pertain to a specific holiday, but I would just recommend just putting some content in there for whatever promotion you have going on. Yeah. Yes.
Has only a product or a complete as opposed to category suggestions. How would that work together? If you suggest a category and you have a picture of one product and then they click in, assuming they're going to get that product and then they get a category, won't that be more confusing?
I think it just depends on the shopper. It kind of goes back to what Katie was saying, like testing, like see what works, implement it. Like don't be afraid to test and try new things. It could be adopted or it could not be adopted. Hi, Chris.
Do you happen to remember where you got the stats for like the global all that?
I can send them to you. Okay. I did Google it. It came from somewhere.
You just didn't make it up.
No, I really didn't make that up, I promise. Anyone else? Cool. Well, thank you very much, guys.